Hey, Diadems, good to see you. Woof. How are you? Crazy day today. Just crazy busy at work. I had some issues at home to deal with. I think I have to do a short stream tonight. Gotta go pick up my daughter later. So maybe it's about an hour and a half. But we can hang out for an hour and a half. How are you, man? It's been a bad streaming New Zealand summer for me. That's for certain. Pretty good. Cool. What's going on these days? If I may say, I'd say in the last 6 months or so, you seem like you've been doing pretty well, maybe better than the previous 6 months or so. Is that true? Oh god, that's so good. So good. Roger, did you play your game yet? Did you start your campaign or is it? So last weekend, and I saw thanks for your kind words on X, Twitter. Yeah, had a memorial service for an acquaintance last Sunday, a few days ago, I guess. And so, yeah, so that's why it was kind of, I mean, not a last minute thing, but she had passed away. We didn't know when the service was going to be, and then midweek they made the service on Sunday, and so a bunch of us, three of us, were at that memorial service. But it looks like, I hate to say it, but it looks like we're playing this Sunday in New Zealand for what might be the boss fight in Lost Skies of Sajkant. So we'll see. The way that streaming schedule's been going, I don't want to jinx it, but anyways. No, first on the 29th. So about 10 days. 10 days, because for me it's the 19th. Okay, so not this coming weekend, but the weekend next. Are you guys start out at first level? There's 3.5. Yeah. Okay, what am I doing? I still have to work on this guy. I think I kind of want to redo his. Maybe not. Though. I was gonna redo his the edging on his cape. Maybe I'll just keep it. Maybe I'll just finish up with um, his staff. Yes, no, five, fifth, and oh, fifth level. So you're starting at fifth level. Why is that? I'm not questioning that as in why would you, what are you thinking? But just curious. Um, what is your reasoning for starting at fifth? Okay, is that umber? Is that dark umber? Fairly experienced group. I'm gonna do a slow one time. Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know 3.5 like I know fifth and first. So, in fifth edition, fifth level is when they really start getting things. A lot of that, well, at least the 2014 rule set. Maybe is it fourth level or is it fifth level is when they start getting to be able to, the characters start to get like it gets bumped up a notch, I'd say. That's the same thing in 3.5. Like a fifth level character is really different from a third level character, for example. Not too much on there. Didn't need that much. I am using my vortex shaker over here as I'm leaning this way. It's just on the windowsill. Easier that way. Let me get a brush. I'm gonna do some highlights on that and right there. Hey there, Grizzly. You hate starting on a higher level than fourth or fifth? Grizzly, what rule set do you play? I forget. What? Yeah. I plan to go pick up Lily, so don't worry about it. At fifth, they have and six to get third feet. That's in 3.5. Ability increase, so of the standard abilities, strength, constitution, charisma, etc. Obviously is what you mean. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, let me get some of this stuff going here right here. I use a smaller brush for this. Grizzly Y, simple. If I want to get a high level character, I had to put like 1 to 2 hours straight to actually make him. Okay, so it's the effort of, producing all that stuff that you don't want to deal with. Understandable. I need a smaller brush. Oh, this one is better. Yeah, this is a better one. So I created a first level character like last week. There's a first level character. Character sheet, paper and pencil. The first level fighter, dwarf fighter, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Did my rolls, got everything down on the page there. Equipment, encumbrance. Had a fun time with it. Get 8 backs. Yeah, I mean, guidance is in you don't ask for it, or they don't do it, or both. Yeah, I'm not really into needing big backstory for my players. For God's sakes, I'm the kind of guy that backstory comes from the game. You know, a little bit of backstory, sure, but backstory comes from the game for me. From the plan, right? Both, yeah, both. They're not into it. You're not into it. I'm like, that's some lucky guys agree. Yes, I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm only going to stream for about an hour and a half. It's 7. It's 7:45 my time. I got to stop at 9:15. I have to go pick up my daughter at an event because my wife can't. So I almost didn't stream tonight, but or I was kind of trying to stream. I've thought about streaming. Most of the players I have played with barely seen. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Not interested in making a backstory. Like I said, I think backstory comes from the game. That's the cool backstory. And hey, you don't have a whole story full fetched, but at least a reason why. Yeah, no, exactly. Not a whole story full fetched, but so yeah, a couple 5 sentences as to why you are where you are. You know, that's it. Hmm. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. So hands. I could work more on his robe, but I don't know if I'm gonna or not. Sure. There you go. That's a good backstory right there. Bam, done. And that's why he's out on the road making his way in the world. I think that works for me. I'm going to use my typical medium gray and then Agrax Earthshade for this, um, for his staff there. So we got, oh God, sorry, this is making noise on my shit. Maybe someday I'll do a stream where I do a tour of the house in the D&D room. Like I could use my phone as a camera and stream that. Just stream this is the D&D room. I could stream this. I just for like 10 minutes go through all the stuff, all the stuff we got here. Might be yeah. No, I think that's a good idea too. The why are we all together reason. Very good, very good. Yeah. Ranger, which match Tommy has been trout, finds bear. Yeah, Grizzly, you're full of backstory. There you go. You got this nailed. Okay. I've been lusting after an airbrush. Hey, Grizzly, you're a giant. This one's called clubbing things. His name is Clubbing Billy from Billyville. Okay, now I'm just being silly. Hey, Grizzly, we're in Switzerland, right? What's the give us the insider view of the mood in Europe towards the new American administration and their approach to Europe. You don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, totally, yeah, I'd see. So yeah, I just was curious. I mean, I was just talking with a friend of mine who lives in France, and she's an old, long, from high school, so from childhood actually, friend, and she moved to France after university and whatnot. So she's been there for whatever, 30 years or so. Um, and she was just talking, lamenting about the new administration. So you're Swiss, you don't present anything. You had a couple of good football players, though, soccer players. Zavi. Now they have their names all start with X's. What is that? I might finish this wizard pretty quick, and then I will go to some other things. No, we'll allow that. What's that? What about war? Yeah. But you got Elon Musk supporting the AfD in Deutschland. To your south, you got, what's her name? Meloni, uh, PM of Italy, right? Austria is always good for a bit of totalitarianism. To yourself, too. Just more brush. Yeah, can't do anything about it. True. I mean, I wonder if, no, I mean, we don't have to talk about, I like talking about politics, actually. But, I mean, one could argue that it's already getting, Trump's belligerence is already getting European governments to think more about spending more of their GDP on defense, right? Mind you, I'm not promoting these. I'm not supporting these ideas. I'm just restating what I've read. Recent, reading recent news about all the countries spending more on defense in Asia, in Europe. You just think, gosh, can we just all agree not to kill each other and spend that money on the social welfare of our citizenry? Right? But I know that's not going to happen because the world is one of limited resources, and humans are competitive. So, ergo. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Seagers, thanks for stopping by. I'm only online for a couple hours tonight, so maybe we'll see you Sunday because we should be playing on Sunday. Fingers crossed. Have a good haircut. Yeah. Don't let it hold you back. Seriously. The world needs parents who are engaged and supportive of their children. Anyways, hey, Cardman. Oh, Cardman. Thanks for coming by and thanks for asking that question. It's been insane. My streaming schedule and playing schedule has been so effed up the last 3 months. New Zealand summer. I've been away. I was away in the U.S. for almost not quite a month. But I was away from like December 12th through January 5th or so. Then I got back here to New Zealand. And immediately we had another event to go to for 4 or 5 days. So I was gone for essentially for a month, from mid-December to mid-Jan. Played a couple games in Jan. Then I had some other work trips in Feb, too, as a matter of fact. So I just totally screwed up. Um, we had a series of players with other things going on. Last weekend there was a funeral that myself and two of my players attended for a colleague. So it's been crazy. However, it looks like we're playing this Sunday, New Zealand Sunday, our normal Sunday midday slot. So North America Saturday night, and that should be the boss fight for Lost Kansas Shaj Camp. Yeah, so just life. That's it. Totally, that's it, Carbon. I mean, I've been doing this now for what, 5 years or so. I'm totally committed. I don't see myself ever stopping this. It's just the last 2.5 months have been just a series of unfortunate events, as Lemony Snicket would say. Yeah, just life. I'm not going to GaryCon this year. GaryCon is this week, I think. Right? Thanks, man. Thanks for that support. I appreciate it. Yeah, just life. But I'm never stopping doing this. um, Even tonight is a difficult night. Tonight, I have to do a short stream because I have to go pick up my daughter, what event she's at, because my wife cannot. Because my wife actually got in a small motorcycle accident tonight. Uh, she It was shitty rainy weather. Um, she dropped. Uh, a guy cut her off, and she kind of skidded out and dropped the bike into another car, and so she's kind of understandably a bit flustered. She kind of didn't really injure herself, but kind of banged up her knee and her wrist, which are kind of sore. The bike is generally fine, but it's gonna need some repairs, and so yeah, it's been a rough day. Guy and a couple of peeps from the yeah. So they're all going to GaryCon. Yeah, actually, the Tower of Gygax set of games, which is being organized by Curtis Cable, Curtis CBL, who you might see in the Discords and on Lord Gosumba channel. He's administering the Tower of Gygax set of games, and Little Bones is one of the, at GaryCon, so a friend of Darlin, one of the kind of helpers for that session. Little Bones and Cocoa Bunny, actually. So yeah, man, I wish I was there. But I mean, I really do. I don't have a problem with going every other year. It's simply too much from New Zealand to go every year, right? So I've already got a savings account set up for 26. So I'll be going in 2026. Totally set up for that. Okay, now I've got to figure out how to paint the top of this guy's thing. Let's see if I can make sure I can focus this well. Okay, yeah. So you can see him. There he is. I've just done, and I've got to do that top part, right? So I've done his capes, everything like that. They're not the best, but I'm gonna probably leave them as is. I did do his face. It's just hard to see because it's friggin' to see his face. There's his face. It's hard to get in there. Hidden by that cow. Kuvenet, yeah, they're going with Darling. Kuvenet, yeah, and Kuvenet, Kurt actually met him at GaryCon last year in 24. Yeah, great guy, nice. Kurt, that's it, Kurt, yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping, you hate to, you get some FOMO, fear that I'm missing out on this stuff, but hopefully it'll just keep snowballing and the kind of events will keep continuing on and people will keep going and Diadem's got to see you there one day, okay? Okay, so I guess he's got this kind of flamey thing on top, and I might do it and kind of make it look like a glowing red. Let's do some yellows, reds. So yellow on the bottom, actually some white, and then yellow, red. Might paint the whole thing in white, and then yellow, and then dark red. Yellow Scarlet Sun's a dark red, a slightly lighter red. Maybe like this. No, it's too. I might just use white to make it lighter and lighter. And yeah. Okay. And Cocoa Bunny, who is on Lord Gasumba's stream, and I don't know what else, but Cocoa Bunny, if you died him, she's also helping with the Tower of Gygax session that Curtis Cable is. He's organized it, the whole thing. And actually, if you go to, this is a good time to shout out Greycast. One of the last Greycast episodes by Wiley Hobbit and Mateus. That was, they interviewed Curtis and discussed the Tower of Gygax session. Basically, let me go get a beer, my last beer, my second and last beer, and I'll be right back to talk about this. Okay, give me a second. Okay, back. How's our audio? I mean, tabletop audio. It's not going. Okay. There we are. Christ. I don't know why I wasn't going. So, the Tower of Gygax, as I understand it, no, this is what I hear from. This is what I listened to the Greycast podcast, and was so Tower of Gygax is a series of games they run at GaryCon, and it takes place over like 3 8-hour sessions or 3 like 6-hour sessions maybe on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday of GaryCon, and it's 20 DMs running 20 one-shots, and they're 2-hour one-shots, and you don't so it's like 20 tables, 3 days in a row, and you sign up for this time slots at GaryCon, and you don't know the adventure, and you don't know the DM, but the DMs are really, like as Kurt described, the DMs are people like Ed Greenwood, Mike Merles, Chris Perkins, the guy who invented Eberron, whose name I forget. Last year there was Errol Otis. It's just the luminaries of D&D DMing 2-hour one-shots, either of their own design or of a series of adventures that Curtis and his colleagues have written. They're all Greyhawk based, and I think they're all played. I think they're designed for first and second edition, although the DMs have the option of playing them in any edition they want to. So basically, you sign up. It's like a lolly, what in New Zealand what they call a lolly scramble, a grab bag of goodies. So you sign up. You don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get an awesome DM in a 2-hour slot. I mean, you can play with Ed Greenwood or friggin' Mike Merles, or Earl Otis or Zeb Cook, for fuck's sake. So that's the Tower of Gygax session, and I swear to God, next year I might volunteer to help, and/or I'll sign up for it. Yeah, Diadems, I know it's expensive, but if you can get to GaryCon, it was so much fun. Ask your fairy godmother. Yeah. Right, let's try to do the top of this thing here. So I'm mixing paints over here. Mixing paints, sorry. I haven't watched a Darling podcast for a while. Just been so crushed at work, and oh, my dog's here outside barking like an asshole. Been so crushed at work. Yellow green, and it's been hard to have this podcast on in my office. I mean, sorry, the streams in my office while I'm doing stuff, so that my stuff doesn't get done as much. Wow. And it's been, as I alluded to, Carmen, it's been a really busy little time for me, which I'm not complaining because my job is very forgiving. I'm essentially my own boss, so I cannot complain. Even though I do. It's human nature, right? Evil Sun Scarlet's a nice red paint, but man, my sizzle paints are sucking. Put that there. Okay. Yeah, thanks, man. Carbon, I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate that question because I seriously worry about that. I just like, my God, people, I hope people know that everything's okay and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to zoom this a bit more. Everything is okay. There we are. There we go. That's a bit better, perhaps. I can kind of do that. Yeah. Maybe you can focus even, etc. Hey, man, thanks. And I think this Sunday should be the boss fight. It should be. It really should. We'll see. You never know, but it's set up to be the boss fight. So we shall see. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, my players are so tactical. It's insanity. And so I'm going to try to draw out the boss fight. It'll be really difficult. Coming out saving throws, and I don't know if any of my players are watching. Probably not. There's one player who comes on and watches, but I do not see her here. So, the beast they're going up against it's 5th edition, so has got kind of a series of, when they fail a save, they can actually choose to make it 3 times a day. So I got those in my back pocket because they got some powerful things, some powerful spells that allow them to kind of just fucking neutralize a big bad. But I'm gonna have this ability to save when I want to a couple times. I'm gonna have multiple minions. Yeah, it's 5e version, but it's harder than the normal 5e. I'm not using I actually have the Radiant, whatever it is called. I have the 5e. Look it up. So I have the original, of course, that I'm using. I have the 5e version in the Infinite Staircase that I'm using. And I have some old school conversions, 2 different versions of old school conversions of S4 to 5e. And I kind of use all that stuff to play my game. I don't just use, I look at the Infinite Staircase stat block for the big bad, and some things I don't like about that, so I don't think I'm going to use it. I'm going to use the stat block on my conversions, and even I'm going to tweak that. I played in 84 as a PC. Nice. I don't know if I ever... No. I don't think I ever played Lost Caverns as a PC. I don't think so. I don't know if we did. I don't know if I still have the original module. I have the reprint, the print on demand Lost Caverns S4. Played a lot of modules in the 80s. I remember I played um, Lizard King, Tomb Lizard King. I played that. Whole Temple played that. Um, so yeah, I did lots of those original modules, but I don't think Lost Caverns. Played all the S's. What are the other? What? I'm sorry. What are the other S's after Lost Caverns? Or if S4? Yeah, what comes before? What are the other S's in that? What are the other ones in that series? I can look it up, but please, but I'd rather hear it from you. So I'm thinking about starting a 1E campaign, and I'm planning to kind of begin it with Cult of the Reptile God. Where's that? Do I have it? Where's it there? Yeah, I'm planning to start with this. Yeah. Tomb, White Plume, Expedition, Lost Caverns. Okay, so they're not. Okay, so they're not. They're not really linked, right? Because I got White Plume and I got Expedition, and I don't, and I have Tomb. I have all of those. For fun, let's find them. And here they are. There's Expedition. Sweet. There's White Plume. And I know I got Tomb. I got a tournament version of Tomb. Excuse me. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. And there's Tomb. Yeah. Okay, so here, I have them. S1, I have them all. And with my reprint, I've got the S series. How's that? So awesome. Your favorite White Plume is pretty awesome. A friend of mine, a guy who I play with occasionally still from childhood, not streamed, he reminded me that in probably I don't know, 84, 83, 85, probably 80, he was saying we used to run those modules cold. We all, like, a bunch of us pooled together like our lunch money and went down to the bookstore. We grew up in a really small town. We, like, pooled our lunch money, went down to the bookstore in town where they sold this stuff. We bought White Plume, and then went back to his house and just ran it cold. Just, like, open the book up, open up, and, like, go. I love those days. Yeah, White Plume's pretty awesome. Okay. I know. I know. Totally. So my friend Charlie, who I'm still playing with, and yeah, I lived a block away from him, and yeah, we started playing with the basic set. I remember my friend Ryan, who I played with a couple weekends ago. Again, this is from when we were like in, um, sixth grade, 1980. It was the week of parent-teacher conferences, and so you get out of school like at midday, at noon, and yeah, because the rest of the day people are doing parent-teacher conferences. And my friend Ryan, um, he he one day he's like, we got this new game, and so we all went over to Charlie's house and played the game, and we played it. It was Redbox. We played it every day that week, like every day after school. We went home. We went to Charlie's house after school at like midday and played till dinner time, right? Every single day, and that was it. And then it was from then on, from sixth grade, 1980, until we graduated high school and went to university. Yeah, playing Team of Horrors in 16 hours one Sunday. We used to do that for um for Temple, right? We used to do that for Temple, right? We played this module over the course of a year or more. Yeah, as you know, this thing is deep. I know, so good. Okay, work on this little Reaper Mage. So we're trying to wet blend a little bit, but I should mix this. Do some mixing here. Beat down level 2. I honestly don't remember. I remember battling trolls a lot. There's lots of trolls. Or there's badass trolls in level 1, I think. Um, I actually, for a group 5 years ago or so, I played Monty Cook's Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil. I ran that module. That took about 2 years to run that module. It's a module that J. Scott hates, with good reason. That module is so, I don't know, so over the top convoluted. So in that module, if you ever played it or read it, it's one of those massive books. You go to some this I don't know how to describe. I can't remember because we played it. It took like 2 years to play that module um, in one of my other campaigns from about 5 years ago. God, yeah, it took forever. uh, but you go to some citadel and through all of that huge temple or Elder Eye citadel. Then you go back to the temple near Hamlet and Nolb, and you reinvestigate it. It's been partially rebuilt, and it's so. And eventually you battle Onyx, uh, lesser elemental evil god of fire, and I just have it right here. There's my IMIX mini. That's the IMIX mini they battled. I bought that and paid this mini just for that battle. It's still sitting there, and God, it's dusty as fuck. Yeah, my IMIX mini, or Maxis, you might call it. This always made me laugh though because this is obviously a female because it's got fire boobs. See, little fire boobs. I painted this with glass paint, which is the kind of paint that hobbyists use to recreate stained glass. So it's transparent, obviously. So if I had a light, I could shine it through there. Let me try this a little fast. Yeah, okay, you can see the light going through this thing now. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. You could run into some situations you're not still in real. Yeah, absolutely. Um, that's what. Yeah. Five. I don't. That's an issue with 5e, right? 5e. Most players who 5e is their game, their only game. I think they believe that they can fight their way through any situation. Last year, Gary kind of played a game with Carlos Lysing, a 1e game, through one of his modules, and it was awesome. And he made the point. He said, dude, 1E is all about resource management. Resource management. That's what 1E is about. You cannot just blast through shit. It's not going to work. You will die. Yeah, I think so. I started playing some 1E again recently, and 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 I do think it's simpler because the combat mechanics are not necessarily simpler, but the characters are simpler. And that helps because in 5e, the characters are complex and the combat mechanics are complex. So, yeah. I think I'm going to make this bronze. Rough iron, rather. Right. Okay, I'm going to do this, I think, some some iron. It's got that little. It's got some. I'm looking at his top of his thing here. Let me kind of show you what we got going on. You will focus. There we are. So doing the top of his little thing here, and I don't mean it to be flame, but kind of red gem-like. It's sitting on this like little pie crust decoration, right? So those bands I'm going to make in rough iron, and that pie crust thing that the red sits on. I don't know. I need to decide what color to really that will really stand off from the red. What allows more fluid personal representation each red? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah, I do like that. The attack of opportunity in 5e and the really precise movement and the way you can, break it. You can attack. You can break your movement up. I know Jay Scott always talks about this. He's always incensed by the fact that you can in 5e you can move, do stuff, and move again. He's like, what? No, you close to strike or not. I do like. I know. I do appreciate that. Okay, I could do brass or bronze, but I'm gonna do rough iron for this. I have so little time right now to work on this stuff. I still have my massive castle back here. I need to finish, and so that's weighing on me. really shitty when you're stressed about your hobbies. You know, it's not the way it's supposed to be. So I should chill out. That's what I'm telling myself. So yeah, this is the Reaper Mini. Oh God, Reaper Mage, I think is what he's called. He's a wood elf, according to at least the packaging and the description of Reaper. He doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be wood elf. He can be whatever you want it to be. Okay, so some bronze pieces there. Maybe on the bottom. There's obviously something on the bottom here. Put some bronze on the bottom. Listen, we plowed through the classic TSM models as players. I put in 2 years, we'll probably take a stream at 5 each time. Yeah, all the time, straight on playing. Time is precious. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't. I do. I try to move stuff along, but still, we spend a huge amount of time doing stuff. Yeah, I don't know how to not do that. I don't know if it's a stream, but yeah, you spend so much time going through stuff, and I mean, uh, yeah, I do individual initiative. We could do side initiative in 5e, even of course. Um, um, I'm encouraging my players to like roll attack rolls and damage dice at the same time. My players are not super fast with damage. Like they have to they don't know what their damage is. They kind of like roll their attack roll. Like, hey, what's the damage of this weapon? I think it's partially to do with people using Roll20. Oh, I'm sorry, D&D Beyond to make their characters, and they don't have to know stuff. They just say, "I have a battle axe." They don't have to look up what the damage for that is and write it down somewhere. And so it's not as much in their brain. I'm a softie with PCs. I am a softie. You're right, I am. Fuck. And of course, I am. And even I think back to decisions I made with PCs like a year, years ago in this current campaign. And my poor decisions have come home to roost. I'm like, damn it, I should never let them do this because now they're fucking so powerful. For example, I know he's not watching, but whatever. The guy who plays Mitsu, the elf archer, literally 2 years ago or whatever, he asked if he could purchase or manufacture blunt arrows. Arrows with like blunt tips he could use on like skeletons or whatever. And I kind of said, yeah, sure, whatever. If you can, we can. Here's what they cost, and here's what the hit modifiers are and whatnot. I should never have allowed that. It's not that big a deal. I should have said, no, dude, you're a supreme archer, and there's going to be some things you're not good at. One of them is going to be monsters that only take bludgeoning damage. Sorry, but when they come out on the scene, you're fucked. And you have to rely on your comrades. I should never have let them, make blunt arrows, for example. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. I could one off something if they really need it and they're all going to die through no fault of their own, or just to give them more potential to not die in an upcoming scenario. Yeah, yeah. But we live and learn, and I try not to worry about it because I'm playing D&D, and everyone, and that's a big thing. It's good you're playing D&D. You don't do oily blue on this stuff, right? Okay, what should I do for the middle stuff on that guy? This guy. Blue or oily steel? A new paint which I never used before. I'll do oily steel. Yeah, that's why I've been playing Shadow Dark more with guys like DM Dave at Guild Superior. Um, I've started a 1E game not streamed. Um, and just to get back to that more, simple, you may die. You have to rely on your buddies. You're not going to be good. Your character is not a fucking superhero. They're good at some things and they suck at other things, and you need to rely on your comrades to fill in those gaps. Isn't played is everything. That chat's with yours. Yeah. No. True. 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 Okay. Now this is the center. I think oily steel. This will be up here. Will be also oily steel. I'm thinking about when my current 5e campaign with the group that you watch, Cardman, when it comes to a logical conclusion or a rest point, about asking them if they'd be willing to try some 1E sessions. And since 1E is not on D&D Beyond, it's going to be paper and pencil, baby. You guys are, Carmen, are you in Oklahoma? Is that right? Okay, maybe now I'll use the blue for some dots. I know, I love it. You can see those guys playing 1E. Fuck's sake. You're San Francisco? Okay, you're San Francisco. Okay. Sorry. Excel 809. He's Oklahoma, I think. He, she, it. Ha! So you know the famous Mark Twain quote, right? coldest winter I spent was a summer in San Francisco. Dude, Curtis is in San Fran. Maybe he's across the bridge, but it's for real. Yeah, I know he is. He's somewhere in San Fran. I don't know if he's in the Bay Area. I want to say maybe he might be in Oakland, but mind you, I've only I'm usually just in the San Fran airport, so I really have nothing to say. Gosh, okay, that looks good or not. uh, I think so. Here's this guy. This right now. There's just. I mean, it's not whatever. I have not watched that. Not the greatest, but I'll highlight it a bit. There's his face in there somewhere. I could do better work on his robes. But I have got some, you can see some blending highlights there, right? That's not the light, that's my paint. Hey, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, some whites and grays. Okay. Um, I'm gonna put some Agrax Earthshade on his that staffy thing because that'll make it look good. But you know what, folks? I tonight the struggle is real. The the streaming issues continue. I have to call it a night in about half an hour because I have to go pick up my daughter because of some issues. I mean, I'm not no big deal, but I have to do that, and my wife can't. So I got half an hour more of streaming, and then I got to call it a night. So a really short stream for me and an early night. But God willing, we'll be here on Sunday for our game. Invisible airwaves crackle with light. Sorry, I was just doing some serious rush listening in my office this afternoon. Good. All right. I know. I am rambling that. Indeed. Exactly. Okay, now I'm gonna do some highlight of this guy. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Right. Okay, let's keep working on him. Kind of silent, but stealth, but steadily. And I'm gonna kind of. Actually, let's take Rush. What are the reaction videos to Rush? Is it like people that never heard Rush, like hearing them for the first time, like going, "Oh shit, this guy's good. Where are they from? Is this from last year?" My first introduction to Rush was okay, exactly. My first introduction to Rush was 1980 when I moved. My family moved to the town I grew up in. Maybe 79, and my cousin already lived there. He had Signals, and he's like, "You got to listen to this." So I listened to Signals, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" Okay, I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna Rush reactions. I'll totally look it up. Maybe after stream tonight when I'm closing down shop and going to bed. I don't know. Rush is kind of D&D, the '80s D&D players' music soundtrack. Probably just because it's from the '80s and it's really good '80s music. And that's what we listened to when we were playing D&D in the '80s. Yeah, Signal's an awesome album. Xanadu. I will try it. Okay. So I need to do the bottom of this guy, and I will right now. But here's this guy. Just kind of put him up here. He's pretty much done. Okay. I mean, it's not, it's not perfect. Never perfect, but definitely put him on the table, right? His face there, underneath that cowl. Let's base him. Let's get this base sorted. And I guess I'll paint all black first, and then we'll go from there. My black. Yeah, I'll look up tonight, man. Tomorrow, again, because my job is pretty. I don't have a whole lot of oversight. I might work. I mean, and I can. I might work from home tomorrow, so I might get a bit later, and then work late at night. So maybe I'll come back and do some of these things we're talking about, like look up various albums and I don't know, finish various stuff. Okay, let's paint the base of this guy. I'm just doing black right now, but I don't know what I might ultimately do. I mean, black's just kind of basic, right? That part's easy. Paint my own thumb. Just paint my own thumb. Okay, there he's. Let me get my thumb off. But there he sits momentarily, kind of at least base painted, but not just in black. So what I'm gonna do? Bark. Set him there. Anything more than that black? I don't know. Alright, so there he is. A wood elf wizard whose face you can't see. Who's in there? Yeah, I don't know. I might leave it at that. He's done. I'm gonna say I can say he's done. I mean, it works. It works, right? It works. I can say he's done. For the most part, I could do a bit of highlights on his staff. Let me try that really fast. By taking, just the staff color. I'm doing that. Edge highlight. That's all. back here as well. Can't see his face, but it's in there. Hey, Magical Hack. Thanks, Magical Hack, for raiding. Thank you very much. How are you guys? How you doing? How's your stream tonight? I saw you earlier when I was driving my daughter to dance practice. I saw you pop up on my phone. So, those of you who are here, please go hang out with Magical Hack. I hope you had a good stream. What are you working on tonight? This is what we were working on. Finishing this Reaper Wood Elf Mage, whose face you can't see, but it's under that cowl. Trust me. Trust me, it is. I got other things to paint. I got these cavern tiles to paint. Indeed. Magical Hack, thanks for being here. I regret to say that I may actually, it's not, I have to stop streaming early tonight because I have to go pick up my daughter, all right, from her dance class. And a series of events occurred tonight which made it necessary for me to do this, not my partner to do this. So I'm actually going to be calling it a night so very early for me, but I need to do this. So I'm going to take Magical Hack's raid and send them, along with myself and people who are hanging out with me, to someone else. So I'm really, it's always it's always kind of a bummer to do that, but that's what I gotta do. We got Void. Void's playing for fucking 4, is Void still playing? Void's out there. Duggar Juggernaut's out there. Okay. That's it. I have seen Duggar Juggernaut, and what is he doing? He's in New Zealand? Are you kidding me? That's where I am. I didn't know Duggar Juggernaut was here. So he's playing a game. What is he playing? Blasphemous 2? So there's Duggar Juggernaut we could go see. Or we could go see Void, but I think Void is done. Void's got 1 viewer, so Void I think is done. Let's go check out Duggar Juggernaut, shall we? So I really apologize. This is a really early stream for me. I mean, a short one. Had to do it though. We'll be back on Sunday, this New Zealand Sunday, so North American Saturday night, playing our Lost Cows of Sajkanth game. It might be the boss battle. So I hope you come and check that out. So we'll raid Duggar Juggernaut, who is a Kiwi streamer, like myself, kind of. Yeah, I don't know if Avoid is actually doing it or not, because sometimes Avoid hangs out when no one's on there. Anyways, I'm going to raid Duggar Juggernaut. If you guys want to go to bed, please do. I hopefully will see you guys on Sunday. All right? Thanks for hanging out for this short stream, and see you soon.